This is a series I've been wanting to try for a really long time. Play through the entire game of New World without being allowed to trade or use the trading post. Sounds easy, right? Well, to make it even harder, I'm going to be flagged for PvP the entire time. I don't really know what to expect with this, but I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of a PvP-only Ironman. Okay, my character's made and I washed up on the beach. Time to start the main story questline. Since I can't actually flag right now, I'm just going to power through this and try to get to the initiation quest as soon as possible. Oh wow, look at this campground. This has some launch vibes to it. So good to see that. For the most part, these quests are pretty straightforward and easy. Of course, I'm going to gather as much as I can along the way. Pretty much everything is useful to me, I guess, long term, so picking it up now while I'm here and throwing it in the bank just seems like the best plan.
6 hours later.
Well, I'm finally here, ready to pick my faction. Feels good, man. It's been a lot of quests to get here, and yeah, I guess I'm going with Syndicate because it looks like there were fewer Syndicate players in the world when I was playing. We'll see how it goes. I'm open to changing my faction if I have to, but the PvP is on now, so things are going to be a little bit more dangerous than they were before. My build at this point is not amazing. I haven't done any faction missions yet, so I can't buy any missing pieces that I have right now with tokens. So I guess that's my next goal, head down to Greatsword and get a few faction missions done so I can at least equip myself with some decent stuff. Well, these quests were super quiet, didn't run into anybody to fight, so yeah, managed to get the tokens, and here is the build so far. Nothing too special, but it'll do. I did manage to get my hands on an energizing counter Greatsword from a pretty early quest, so I'm really happy about that. And there were a couple of initiation quests that I did that managed to score me some pretty nice pieces of jewelry. I did binge gather a whole bunch of Bulrush and Water, so at least I'm good for potions. So I just finished getting my reputation to 3,000, grinding out more faction missions in Greatsword. Still didn't run into anybody. The run up to Brightwood was also quiet, and now I'm just finishing off that Scrivener quest. On my way back to the Way Shrine, I find my first flagged player. He's just kind of off in the distance, but I run down here and just start hucking axes at him. He's got Great Axe and Warhammer, so just going to watch out for that stun. The Calamity counter is going to be a big deal. It's going to allow me to shut down that Warhammer, and he just tries to hit me with his moves. I throw the axes at him. Oh man, Hatchet is just the most accurate ranged weapon in the game. And there's a slice through with the Greatsword. Pretty decent damage in him, and then yeah, look at the chunks this thing takes out of him. Oh my god, even at a low level, Greatsword hits so freaking hard. Okay, I'm back in town now, finished that Scrivener quest, and I used my tokens that I had to just buy as much of the gear as I could. I'm gonna have to do a few more faction quests in order to buy the few pieces that I'm missing still. And so far, not the worst PvP reward tracks. Getting those tonic items, at least right now, I won't be able to use them, but for endgame, they're gonna be very valuable for me, so yeah, I'm not upset. And look at that, I followed this guy after thinking that he'd be flagged, and he ended up flagging up. And just gonna throw a few axes at him, try to get his attention. He turns around and comes towards me. Looks like he's got Greatsword Hammer, so watching out for that hammer stun. I just start swinging the Greatsword heavies, and there's a great Calamity counter to counter the hammer, and good damage on the rush, and managed to land that heavy attack afterwards too. He just keeps swinging his Greatsword, and he chunks me with the last hit of it. Look at that, he's hit me with 2 attacks, and I'm almost dead. Yeah, he is very tanky compared to me, but he is in heavy armor, so he's definitely on the slow side. The Calamity counter ready in time for that incoming stun, and he's very low health. I just throw the hatchets, miss a lot because I'm so good at aiming it, and there is nice heavy attacks to the back before he can knock me away. I actually managed to bring him down. And I just keep on doing the missions here. I'm actually at the end, about to turn a mission in, and I see 5 players. Man, I gotta think better. Why did I attack these guys? I just ran right towards them. I actually managed to down one of them, but they kill me so quickly, and that's 3 missions failed. Good stuff. So I respawn and just run straight back and try to fight these guys again. Really using my big brain here. Luckily, we find this guy AFK, and I do the absolutely honorless move of killing him while he's AFK, but that's okay. Revenge tastes so sweet. And it looks like I actually have a friendly purple player that's flagged up here, and he's fighting this other green player that came in to help. And I gotta kill him too, man, even if it's the 2v1. Gotta get that sweet, sweet revenge. And the purple player actually looks like he's struggling fighting this guy. He's taking a lot of damage, and this guy here is still really close to full HP. Just gonna keep throwing those hatchets. Yeah, I know, right? That aim, it's gonna be a mainstay of the series, I think. I really want to learn to aim that hatchet, so you guys have to just put up with it. Either way, I managed to get this guy's attention, and then big damage with the backstabs, and right as I kill him, there's the level up. And I guess back to the quest now. Okay, now I'm running into people like crazy. I mean, like 2 or 3 people every single time I leave the town. And yeah, this Greatsword is doing some serious work. Look at this, 4 hits into the Calamity counter. This guy was a healer too, and he just gets absolutely torn down. And this fight here, just shortly after that, I'm really proud of myself. Look at all those connections with the hatchet. I will take it. I go for the rush into him. I manage to land the heavy afterwards, and there's the Calamity counter, and he comes in with his spear poking away. Just back up because I don't have my stam up here. I'm not super used to playing on the low level yet, so I am kind of blowing my stam a little bit more than I should be. But there's a beautiful connection with the hatchet. Oh, love to see it. Oh, here's the healer again. Let's just start feeding him those heavies. 1K on the heavy. I'll take it. So those kills just completed my first PvP reward track, and I realized that I can actually buy the tokens here that I need in order to get the rest of my gear, so I don't have to run any more of these quests. So here's the build so far. Looking pretty good. We got a lot of resilient on, we got a nice new hatchet, we've got good jewelry, and of course the Greatsword with energizing counter. Here's a quick peek at the attributes I'm going for, just kind of trying to hit those 50-point jump points to start. I know it looks a little bit messy right now, but when I get a few more points, I'm probably going to try to go for 100 strength for the increase to slash damage. And then for the weapon mastery, starting off with my hatchet, I'm only level 7 hatchet now. The first point that I actually got was the aim throw, so I could start throwing hatchets at stuff. And then of course unlocking rending throw and the social distance throw. And now I'm working my way down the berserk tree. I think at this stage I'm probably going to invest into the rejuvenating crits so I can have a little bit more stam sustain when I do crit with the hatchet, and then work my way down the social distance throw tree because these are really nice additions to that skill. And then finally get adrenaline rush. I just think stam sustain, especially for early game, is probably the biggest focus of mine right now. And then on the Greatsword side of things, I still don't have my final skill, level 8 Greatsword. Once I hit level 9, I will be grabbing Steadfast Strike. But to start off, I've got Relentless Rush and Calamity Counter for now. Just working on my Red Tree passives. I wanted to get Aggressive Shift right away so I could enter Onslaught stance from those heavies. And of course, Critical Comeback, a big deal for sustaining my stamina. Swift Onslaught for the haste, so I've got haste on both my Hatchet and Greatsword right off the bat. But for now, I think the plan is just going to be unlock Steadfast Strike and add bleeds to these abilities and then start filling out my passives from there. And after all that, I decided to go and chop some wood so that I could get 50 engineering and upgrade my tools. Here are the tools I managed to get: Gathering Alacrity on at least one of them and Yield on the others, so not too shabby for the beginning of the game. I got into quite a few fights while I was out woodcutting right next to Windsward. I'm going to show you guys a few of those clips as I say goodbye. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know. Hit that like button, leave a comment. This was something that I really enjoyed doing, and if you guys like it, I would love to keep making videos in a series like this going forward. I think especially Endgame is going to be very interesting for an Ironman account like this. The build so far feels really good too. Honestly, I'm killing people that are quite a bit higher level than me, and yeah, I feel strong out there. Greatsword is hitting super hard. I am streaming this guy live on Twitch, so if you guys want to come watch and hang out, feel free to check it out. There's a link down below. My website, pvpnewworld.com, has got a bunch of endgame PvP builds if you guys want to check that out too. And I would love to do another episode of the New World Top 5 Fights, so if you or someone you know has an awesome fight that they want to see featured, you can send that to Kristofer at pvpnewworld.com. A quick shout out to my sponsor, ExpressVPN. You guys know what it does. There's a link down below if you want to get a deal on your first purchase. And of course, a big thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon for supporting the show. Thank you guys for keeping it going. Thank you everybody just for tuning in and watching. I really hope you like this video, and I'll see you guys next time.